Alright, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday morning. I had planned to originally start cutting some firewood, but I saw online last night there's this trailer for sale in Gatesville, and we've been looking to get something that will be a little better situation for our laying hens. And so one of the things we thought about doing was converting an old trailer into like a mobile chicken coop. So we're gonna go down there and check that out. It's about an hour away. It looks, online it looks good for what we're going to use it for. My bigger concern is getting it home. So anyway, we'll see. They said that they bought it from someone else and pulled it to their house. Okay, so I'm hoping that's the case. But anyway, we're going to check it out. They kind of said it was first come, first serve. So I'm just going to head down there and see what it's about. All right. I made it there, and I bought a trailer. So she said I was the first one there. She said she had people coming from Fort Worth, so I was glad I got there when I did. It looks pretty good. I'm just driving up to the house now, so I got it home in one piece. I didn't get stopped by the police, so you'll see why in a second here. But all right, guys, so I got this trailer home. I'm gonna give you a look. It's not the prettiest thing, but here we go. All right, here she is in all her glory. She's missing a side, obviously. It did come with a TV, and it also came with this bad boy right here. It's pretty awesome. All right, so it was an old racing trailer, so it has this door on the back that folds up. This side is complete. It's got the siding on it. It does have a person door that opens, so that would be nice. It is missing the or it's broken, the whatever you call this, the lift, so I need to get a new one of those. The tin on this side is coming off, or it's aluminum actually, but on the top it's got decent roofing on the top, so there it goes. So here's an overview of our hen operation. We have this electric netting in a big rectangle shape, and then inside the netting we have their shelter. This shelter gets moved every single day, and then at the end of the week we move the netting and go to the next spot. So inside they have what they need. They got feed, water, a place to lay their eggs. The one thing they don't have that I'd really like to provide for them are roosts. There's a few spots they can roost, like in the corners, but this structure was not really designed to hold a lot of weight, and so I'd never really put official roosts in there because I didn't want the structure to kind of break. So I'd like to be able to add roosts somehow for them. So this structure was an old broiler shelter, and again, it was not designed to hold a lot of weight. So what happened was we would usually put tarps on the top, but as soon as these girls got big enough, they shredded the tarps. You can kind of see here, this is the remnants of the tarp that was on it. And so we have a lot of tin laying around, so we went ahead and put the tin on there. The problem with the tin is it's very, very heavy, and so we're having problems again with it holding up. Back here, this piece broke yesterday. You can see in the corner it's messed up a little bit. And so this structure again was just not made to hold a lot of weight. So one option we have is taking off the tin and putting up plastic panels like these guys, okay, which are pretty light. The problem with that becomes the expense. Those, a 12-foot panel, which is the length of this cage, is about $30, and it would take 7 of those to go all the way around, which is $210, which is a lot of money for a cage that isn't really designed for the hens to begin with. The second issue we're having is that This is 50 hens here. We have another 75 birds that are coming out of the brooder soon. And so this is really not enough space for all of them. It's enough space for them to sleep, but there's not enough nest boxes for all of them. And there's not really a good place to put more nest boxes in this structure. And again, it would make it too heavy. So one option, I don't know if you can see them up there, I have 2 more of these, which I could bring down here. But again, I could put 10 on them, but they'd be too heavy, and they're difficult to move when they're that heavy. So I could buy the plastic panels again, but it'd be $210 for each one. So if I had all 3 cages down here, that would be over $600 just for the plastic to go over here, okay? Because I don't have roosts in there, I have to move this cage every day, or else they end up sleeping in their manure. So I don't want that. So the ideal situation for the hens, which a lot of people do, is to have some kind of structure that where the birds are up off the ground at night and where their manure falls through the ground, so that the structure doesn't have to be moved every day, where it could be moved once a week, or most likely twice a week, or preferably twice a week. All right, so there's 2 options we're looking at. I'm going to show you these. This is out of the Polyface Designs book. A lot of people's structures are based on some of these designs. So one of the options is an open air structure like this. This is on skids. You can pull it with a truck or a tractor. You still have the electric netting around it, and so the birds just kind of whatever, they free range out from there, but it's an open structure. Our concern with this would be obviously predators. We do have hawks and owls that have been an issue for us in the past. At night, so that would be an issue. The other issue is we plan on keeping our birds out all year, and so in the wintertime, when you get the real cold weather and the cold winds, all that wind wouldn't necessarily be blocked. But this is one option we've been thinking of. The other option is something like this, like an eggmobile, which is an enclosed structure. These ones happen to be on wheels. The nesting boxes are inside. You can have your feeders inside if you want. A lot of people do these in a completely free range situation where their birds can roam and without an electric netting. We don't really have the space for that per se, like on our property, so we'd still need to use the electric netting. But I think something like this is what we've been looking at, because it is enclosed. We can keep them in it all summer and all winter. We can have ventilation like this in the summertime, but then also put some windows over it to keep them closed in the wintertime, or to keep the heat in during the wintertime. So those are the 2 options we've been thinking about. And really we've gone back and forth on whether just to fix up those smaller cages, whether to build something completely from scratch, and then the other thing was just looking at trailers. And so we've been keeping our eye on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that for old trailers. We saw one last week or a couple weeks ago that was just the flat. It was a trailer. It was just the base. It was just the frame, and that was $600. And we were kind of interested in on that, but we kind of missed it, and they sold that. So then I saw this trailer last night, and there's a lot of things about this trailer that I really like. So let me go through those. Okay, there's 2 main things that make this an ideal purchase, or I thought it was an ideal purchase. The first one was the cost. It was only $500. So like I said, if we were gonna fix up those 3 cages for the hens, that would have been about $600 just for the tin on them. And again, that's not really what we want to use them for. So one of the things that I liked about this was the whole trailer was already framed out. We would not have to buy any extra lumber or anything else. And so basically we could, with just buying, some hardware, we could put up tin on the side, and we'd have an enclosed structure, and we could put chickens in it today if we wanted to get it done that quickly. So that was a big bonus. When I was looking at some of those other trailers, they were just the trailer base. So you would still have to purchase lumber and all the hardware and stuff to do that, where this is already framed out, ready to go. The other trailers we were looking at were The other one we looked at was $600 just for the base. So like I said, this is $500 and it's basically ready to go. We just need to put some tin on the one side. We don't need to put it out right now. Like, we're good with what we have for a few more weeks. We have some time to kind of spend some time looking at this structure and figure out what is the best situation. But I'll just run through a few ideas of things we're gonna want to do to make it a great shelter. The main thing we need to do is rip out the flooring. There is metal, bracing or framing underneath. And so what we'll do is we'll rip it all out, and then we'll run probably just pieces of wood across to kind of have a slatted floor that will also act as roost. So the birds can roost on those slats, and then in the nighttime the manure can fall through, which gives us the ability to leave it in one spot for a longer period of time so we don't have to move it every day. Obviously we'll be enclosing this side for the most part. I think we're going to plan on leaving some amount of space at the top for ventilation, and then we'll also probably put in at least one small just chicken door. I'm hoping to get like an automatic, like a solar powered door opener, so I can set a timer so I don't actually have to be out there in the morning and the night to open and shut it. We'll also be putting nest boxes in here, probably just along the side here and this side, and then maybe on the back door. I'm not sure about that. The one thing that we are going to have to work around is that this trailer is not tall enough for me to stand in. It is a little shorter. And so we need to think about, do I really want to be going in there every day to collect eggs, or can we figure out some way to have some doors opening on the side that fold up or out or something so I can collect eggs from the outside? That's just something to think about. Overall, I don't mind though that it's a little shorter. One of the problems other people have with the egg mobiles like this is when they get too tall. If you have a strong wind, they do have the possibility of flipping over, but since this is so short, it's low to the ground, I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. The other thing I'm hoping to do is put some kind of bulk feed container here, either on the front here or possibly inside this front part here. There's actually this like workspace table that's built out, and so I don't know if maybe I can convert it somehow to store feed in there. The other thing to consider is just the water situation. Right now in that small cage out there, we just have a 5-gallon bucket and we take water out there every day. I would like to either put like a bulk water thing in here and gravity feed it to the waters, or just get a hose that will reach to all our spigots. Our furthest spot away from a spigot right now is 1,000 feet. And so I thought about just buying some like air hose line. So it's one continuous line, and I could run it from anywhere on the farm to a spigot, and they'd always have water. It does have some wiring. I mean, it has quite a bit of wiring to light switches and lights and everything like that. And I don't know if that's worth trying to mess with or not, or I don't know if there's a way to get like a battery pack out here so that if I wanted to turn lights on, at night or something, I could. But it's there, so we'll see what to do about that. All right, anyway, that's the trailer I bought. It's $500. We're going to try to turn it into some kind of eggmobile and hopefully, like I said, be able to pull it around the farm pretty easily. The size of that thing, I'll have to check the actual dimensions, but I'm pretty sure I can at least use it for 300 birds, but maybe up to 400 birds depending on the dimensions. I'll have to check some other farmers' dimensions on their eggmobiles, but if the only time they're all in there is at night sleeping, they bunch up anyway, so you can fit a lot of birds in something like that as long as you're letting them out every day. So I'm hoping that will give us plenty of kind of room for growth in our egg operation. Like I said, this year we operated with 50 hens, which gave us at the most 20 dozen eggs a week. We've been selling out of those every week without any problem. We do have 75 more birds coming along, but they won't be ready till next spring. But just thinking ahead, I think if we had 300 to 400 birds, I think that'd be a good number of eggs that we could keep a supply of those coming for the market and our home deliveries. And yeah, so anyway, that's the trailer. That's what we did, and it was kind of it wasn't really an impulse buy. I mean, it came up quickly, so we kind of had to pull the trigger pretty quickly, but we just decided to go for it. I think it was a good use of our money, and I think even if for some reason we're like, forget this, I think I could sell it for at least $500. I think if I did turn it into an eggmobile, Even if I didn't want to use it, I wanted to go a different route, I think I could sell it for quite a profit if I needed to. So I think overall is a pretty good investment, and I'm going to stick to that unless I come out tomorrow and the wind had picked it up and blew it away. Then I'm in trouble.